Hitesh, you said that before the second wave of COVID-19 began, things were, almost business as usual. You were
Yeah.
doing very well. How has this impacted you from a business aspect? Because Info Edge, I mean, you have Naukri, Jeevan Sathi, 99 Acres, Shiksha, apart from the fact that you're also an investor in a couple of unicorns. But broadly, from a business aspect, how is this impacted? Because internet companies, digital companies were actually doing very well post pandemic because of the accelerated shift to digital. So, how has that changed? Because a lot of the young working population has gotten impacted this time across companies.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, business was actually almost beginning to boom, by
Hmm.
March, right? It was almost like, we were entering sort of a period of high economic growth once again. It felt like that.
Yeah.
Attrition rate was going up across companies. Attrition rate going up in our company, right? We were preparing to give very good hikes to people. I mean, that may still happen, but I'm just saying that was the mood. The mood was very, very buoyant, very, very bullish. And, also the pandemic, like you rightly said, has, catalyzed and the move to digital. Right.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think what we are seeing now, and this is the latest sort of data I have, because we track data on our platform every day, job seeker data, recruiter data, what's happening, who's hiring for what. Certain sectors continue to be in deep trouble, and they've got a second hit. I mean, they were looking like they would recover, and we all know which sectors like retail, sectors like
Real estate and
travel, tourism,
hospitality.
hospitality, they've been hit once again, and it may be a while before
Hmm.
they recover. But I think the move to digital is only accelerating as a result of what's happening around us. Now everybody's ordering online. All e-commerce companies are sort of, everywhere. Everything is being delivered on time. People are getting their act together. People are getting smarter and savvier about these things. They're becoming, even people who are 50 years old, 60 years old, 70 years old, they're becoming better and better at using the internet to do more and more
Yeah.
things, right? So this is, I think, only going to accelerate the trend towards digital. It'll be a
Hmm.
while
Hmm.
before people who can afford to work from home go back to office. So earlier it was like, okay, come March, come February, come April, May, most
We'll
people,
move to a hybrid model. Yeah.
and that may get pushed back by another 6 8 months, and then habits might change, and people may never want to go back to office. Who knows, right? Remote work could become the norm, right? Going forward. And so what we are seeing now is that the demand for digital talent continues to be high. So if you have
Hmm.
digital skills,
Hmm.
if you have IT skills, if you have digital skills, you are still very much in demand, right? Because every company wants to go digital. Even traditional companies want to go digital now. Companies which till 1 year ago used to say, listen, we'll be very happy if 20% of our business comes from the digital channel. 5 years from now, are now saying, listen, we want digital to be 70% of our business, 80% of our business in 5 years. So I think it's only a
Hmm.
matter of time
Hmm.
before every company becomes a digital company, right? And
Right.
then people with digital skills and IT skills, and these are the people who form the backbone of any digital enterprise, will continue to be in demand. So what we are seeing is, on the one hand, demand for such people is going through the roof. Availability
Hmm.
is still, people are still in short supply with the right skills. On the other hand, certain sectors are terribly impacted. And
Hmm.
many of those people don't have digital skills. They will have to actually reskill themselves if they want good jobs going forward, because some of these sectors may take a long time to recover.
Right. Right. And Hitesh, in terms of the overall job market, Naukri brings out this monthly report on job speak. And the latest one that I saw, it said there is a decline,
Yes.
but it's not as bad as March 20 when there was a national lockdown.
Yeah.
But interestingly, when I went through the categories, IT jobs, BPO jobs have also seen a marginal decline apart from the sectors that you mentioned. And if I look at the metros that are impacted, there seems to be a direct correlation between the caseload, for example Delhi NCR, Bengaluru,
Yeah.
Mumbai. So are you seeing this again perhaps changing in the current month? Are things perhaps slowly coming back to normal?
Yeah. See, April was pretty bad because, it was not as if demand took a beating, but everybody was distracted. So people who were looking for jobs were down with COVID. Recruiters and companies who were
Yeah.
looking to hire them were down with COVID. So everybody was distracted. Productivity in every company was, I think, down to 50, 60% levels, because, everybody was dealing with COVID, in their families or for themselves,
Yeah,
or their
absolutely.
extended families, trying to help friends, etc. So, demand for people and, jobs posted on our site also took a beating, even in the digital space, even
Hmm.
in the IT space, for about 2 3 weeks for this reason. But my
Right.
guess is that they will come back faster than we think. Once situation starts to normalize, which is, I think, I think it's only a matter of weeks now before things go back to the new normal. May be much higher in terms of COVID cases than the previous normal. As soon as things start stabilizing, I think demand for IT skills and digital skills will come back with a bang. Because you look at what's happening around us. IT professionals, a lot of them work for IT services companies. Now they are more indexed to what happens in the US and UK than to what happens in India. The US and the UK economies, I mean, they're almost back to normal. They're back to normal, right? The investment in digital startup continues to be very, very high. I mean, there is enough money being poured into digital startups as we speak, right? Every traditional company is trying to go digital as well. So I think digital transformation is the story of our times. And I think digital transformation is here to stay and for the next few years. And anybody who has digital skills will continue to be in demand. The problem is people who don't have digital skills, who are stuck in sectors which get most of their revenue offline, right? Many of these people will have to reskill themselves, will have to become more mobile if they want good jobs for themselves going forward.